create videos for your audience. And what we mean by that is communicate your content in the way that your audience wants to receive it and the way that they talk about the content. In Michael's example, if you are in something that's highly technical, or if it's B2B or something like that, the tendency can be to use a lot of insider terms and use a lot of terms that maybe your audience doesn't use at all. So the second thing we talk about here is just think about your audience when you're making your video. When you're talking about something, when you're using terminology, is that the same thing that your audience is going to use when talking about it to other people or to themselves? Mm-hmm. If not, consider changing the terminology. Even if it's something that would sound a little bit pedestrian to you, it's going to communicate more clearly. And so clarity is it's almost like clarity is better than accuracy, right?
Yeah.
So you want to be clear and communicate clearly, even if it's not the exact right terminology or exact right thing you would say. Like, so make it palatable to your audience.
Yeah, a lot of the conversations we have around there's the train again. Hope everybody's enjoying the authenticity.
There's actually 2 train tracks right above this, right beyond this.
Yeah, right next to us. A lot of this comes down to technical information and practitioners who are passionate about their craft, wanting to make sure that people in their industry know that they understand their business.
Right.
But what this misses is a lot of times your customers have much less sophisticated ways of saying things. And we even run into...
how many times have you been called the webmaster?
Yeah, the webmaster. The webmaster. Or we'll often have people schedule meetings with us and say they need help with their social media. And it turns out they're really talking about SEO, search engine optimization, or paid search advertising. So there's people who need services. My goodness, if you're doing something, if you're offering either a product or a service that's either B2B or B2C, you need to honor the need that your customers have when they come to you. That's why they need you. That's why you're in business. Not to sort of be hard to understand or cryptic with them, but to center your language around their pain points. And so one of the ones that we think of, and we've mentioned before, is the difference. This is an even tricky kind of thing. We do a lot of sophisticated commercial, industrial trade services marketing. And there have been a lot of changes in the products over the years for surface coatings, in particular epoxy. So polyurea is another form of this sort of surface coating that's getting very popular. And so we're getting a lot of great traction with a program around polyurea. But we've got a little problem. A lot of the audience is still searching for epoxy. Mm-hmm. So if our client says, well, we're not using epoxy, that's true. But what if the audience is still using epoxy? They mean epoxy. It looks and feels like epoxy. It's polyurea. They don't know how to spell polyurea. They feel like they can spell epoxy.
Yeah.
And so,
I used to run a PPC program for orthopedic practice, and we would have keywords like knee doctor.
Knee doctor.
So what's a knee doctor? It's an orthopedist.
Yep.
But people search for it in context of their own problem. So I have a knee problem. I need a knee doctor. Well, every orthopedist can work on knees, right? So
yes,
you're meeting them where they are.
If one of my 4 sons was finishing medical school right now and deciding on a URL for the website, I would suggest kneedoctornashville.com.
Right.
So if nobody's got kneedoctornashville.com, we suggest that.